Okay, guys, I'm back. I was gone for 2 weeks to do my annual training period, and it was kind of fun. I got to shoot on the range, got an expert score, doing pretty good so far. So, there was a lot that I missed while I was gone. It'll take me a while to catch up, but we might as well talk about what actually happened last night. Now, if you guys were paying attention to the debate, you guys know exactly how it went. And it did not go very well for Joe Biden. Joe Biden had a lot of things going for him for the debate. One, the mics would be cut off anytime someone wasn't speaking. Therefore, they thought they would use that against Donald Trump, since Donald Trump likes to pipe in and, kind of debunk people what they're saying. I mean, the media does the same thing to him. They fact check him all the time, even if the fact checks are completely false or later prove to not actually be any sort of fact. But unfortunately for Biden, there were several occasions where he was just rambling and his mic got cut off because he ran out of time. I don't think Trump got cut off a single time, whereas Biden got cut off a lot. Not only that, they kept having to cut away from Joe Biden because he kept looking very lost, confused, and just scared. It was really bad. What else Biden had going for him is that there was no live audience. Trump is very well known for his zingers, where the crowd will start cheering him on and hooting and hollering when he says something clever. And it didn't seem to affect anything. In fact, the dead air just seemed to hurt Biden more and more. Without a crowd there to drown out some of Biden's gaffes, there were a few occasions where Trump was just like, I have no idea what Biden just said, so I'm just going to move on from that. And honestly, no one else knew what the hell he was saying either. Then, not only that, the whole thing was done on CNN, a network that's known for being critical of Trump and supporting Joe Biden. And the two moderators have gone after Trump many times before, but they weren't allowed to do any fact checks or anything live. And well, Trump was fact checking everything that Biden was saying, and he was outright ignoring the fact that some of the questions and saying no, we're not moving on. What he just said was stupid. And then goes on to explain and debunk everything that Biden is saying. And then after Biden was debunked, Biden kept saying the same lies over and over again after Trump had already said, hey, it's already out there. There was an article that came out 2 weeks ago from so-and-so network that proves that it's false. We know it's false. So stop saying it. And then Biden would say it again as if he didn't even hear Trump. Like the guy couldn't focus whatsoever or understand anything that was going on. Now, Trump did make one gaffe, as far as I'm aware. He said that Biden was the one who said that black people were super predators. That wasn't actually Biden. That was Hillary Clinton. Now, Biden has said a lot of racist things in the past, such as, what was it? It was, I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle, in reference to having black kids and white kids go to the same school. He said a lot of stupid things like that, a lot of racist things. But in that particular regard, Trump misinterpreted or attributed a quote from Hillary Clinton to Joe Biden. So that was a bit of a gaffe. But Biden actually couldn't do anything about it. And neither can anyone else. Biden didn't debunk it. He didn't say that he never said that. And he would have to point out that Hillary Clinton said that, not him. And, well, Hillary Clinton worked in the same administration as Joe Biden. So he's associated with her anyways. And anyone else who's a Hillary Clinton fan who wants her to run again and win would have to admit that no, that's not a Joe Biden quote, because obviously they're supporting him in this election. That's a Hillary Clinton quote. Never mind. I mean, no one on the left can admit that that was something that Joe Biden never said. I mean, they could say that Joe Biden never said that, and then it's the perfect opportunity for people to come in and say, yeah, Joe Biden never said that. Just the Secretary of State, when he was vice president, said that. It's just, so the gaffe that Trump made, actually, it's not, doesn't matter whatsoever. I'm still amazed that they had to keep cutting away from Joe Biden when Trump was speaking because Joe Biden just looked absolutely terrible. And then, as Joe Biden was rasping and gasping during the entire thing, some, like, I think at least one outlet came out and said that, like, breaking. Joe Biden has a cold. We have at least two sources that say that Joe Biden have a cold. And then before the actual debate, they said the campaign was asked, "Hey, is Joe Biden on anything? Like, he's not on any drugs, right? To keep him like uh, conscious or keep him lucid, right?" And like that's something that Donald Trump has been saying. And the campaign said the only thing that Joe Biden is on is ice cream. He just absolutely loves his ice cream. And it's like, okay, you make him sound like he's a nursing patient who just had his tapioca pudding for the night. Just what? And then after the debate, there was. I don't know if CNN meant to do this, but they had frickin' the camera on showing Joe Biden standing up on the stage confused while Joe Biden was like coming on and like gently coaxing him and trying to get him off stage and talking to him sweetly and whatever. You can't make out anything they're saying. They're too far away from the camera, and they obviously their voices weren't picked up. But it makes it look like she's just trying to like guide him in the right direction. Like he has no idea where he is or what he's doing or where to go or anything like that. And then afterwards, Joe Biden goes on stage and starts hyping up her husband, saying that you did so well, honey, and like you told nothing but the truth. Well, Trump was up there lying the entire time. Like you're so amazing, and it just smacks of elder abuse. It's just I don't know why the campaign keeps bringing out Jill and why the campaign keeps having them make these stupid statements about ice cream and anything. It sounds like they're trying to make like Biden come off as relatable and as I don't know. I'm so confused by it. It just doesn't make any sense. It just makes him come off as weak and pathetic and old, and it doesn't come off the way they think it comes off. He just looks so awful. He was squinting the entire time. He was stammering the entire time. There were a lot of things he said that didn't make any sense. Like the classic dementia thing where someone will throw together two random sentences and in their own head it makes complete sense, but to the people who are listening, it's just complete nonsense. And I wish I could give an example of it, but they were just so freaking confusing. And it's like, I would actually have to look at a transcript to even see what the hell he was. You can't even translate it on the fly. It doesn't make any sense. And then he would say stuff that like contradicted his point or seemed to actually give Trump credit for things that Trump was doing. And there was at least one occasion where Biden tried to spin something Trump did was bad. And like anyone who already agreed with Trump would listen to the statement and be like, "Oh yeah, no, that I completely agree with that." I think it was something about immigrants. Again, Biden was just all over the place. And Trump just wouldn't let stuff go. Like, Trump would be like, yeah, no, we're going back and we're talking about what Biden just said. And then he would, like, have all the facts just right up in here. Meanwhile, Biden, like, I mean, he scratched his ear, and people were saying, oh my god, he's adjusting the earpiece he's got. I don't think that's what happened. I think Biden was just doing like one of these. But I mean, it's another thing where it's just like, I mean, it just doesn't look good. And not only that, Biden seemed to outright be reading from a piece of paper. Like, you're not allowed. One of the rules of this whole thing was you're not allowed to have notes. Because when CNN had the Trump town hall, the moderator turned it into a debate where she was arguing with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump pulled out some notes and read off exactly what he said in his tweets and basically like debunked everything she was saying because he knew what she was going to say. And then after the debate, one of the CNN moderators, not the moderator, one of the reporters, a different female, she was talking about like Biden knew all these questions were coming. Now, from the sound of it and just from the general like tone that she was making, it sounds like Biden wasn't asked anything that wasn't expected to be asked. But the way she actually said it made it sound like they gave all the questions to Biden ahead of time, which is what they did for Hillary Clinton back in 2016. Now, you could argue it either way, but everyone already doesn't trust CNN. The most trusted name in news, they keep saying, but no one actually trusts them. Their ratings are slightly higher than other networks. I mean, it goes between Fox, MSNBC, and CNN for who has the highest ratings at any given time. And, yeah, I mean, CNN, a lot of people already think that Biden had the questions, and this is just more proof of that. And even if it's not true, the fact that they even brought it up and said it in that manner, I have a lot of people say that, yeah, Biden had the notes. He had the questions. He knew everything that was coming. And he still did that bad? And then Trump said, hey, I took a drug test. Well, I'm not sure if he said he took a drug test, but he said he took a cognitive test. I wouldn't be surprised if he took both and released the results of both. And then he challenged Biden to do the same, and of course Biden's never going to do it. But yeah, everything that the Democrats have been accusing Trump of, Biden did on that stage. He was lying. He was talking about like the Trump cases, bringing up the fact that Trump is on trial for all this garbage, and Trump just like, yeah, we all know that you're trying to persecute me. We all know you're trying to throw me in jail. We know that you're working with all these local DAs. We know that every single Democrat DA out there is trying to make a huge name for themselves by throwing me in jail. How strange is it that no Republican DAs have come after me? How strange is it that, like, all these areas that have a majority of Biden voters are the ones coming after me? How strange, huh? And it was just like, Biden was misplaying any card he had at every single opportunity. And again, Biden had every advantage. He chose the place, he chose the network, he chose the moderators, he seemed to have notes, he seemed to have the questions, he seemed like everything. He didn't have an audience. If Trump ever interrupted him, he had the opportunity to have Trump silenced on stage. The CNN moderators could have just let Biden ramble on and on and on and then just interrupted Trump. And every single time, Biden just gaffed it all up. It was so bad that in the betting networks, like PredictIt, Gavin Newsom went up 10 points. 10 points! Over, like, on average, in the betting networks to become the next nominee for the Democrat Party for 2024. Biden went down, I heard, as much as like 19 points during the debate. Now, it's probably evened out a little bit now, but now people are outright betting that Biden is going to be replaced. It is awful. I'm amazed at how awful it was. Like the only two people that actually praised Biden for uh, his showing there was his wife and Harry Sisson, who has been proven to be paid for by the Democrat Party. A lot of people, like Cenk Uygur, was calling it elder abuse. Like a lot of high profile left leaning commentators and Democrat partisans came out and said just how awful Biden did on that stage. And the only one that they could get to actually say that it was going good for Biden and bad for Trump was Harry Sisson. Like a 19-year-old kid who's being paid by a talent network that's funded by the Democrat Party. Provably so, by the way. And that was their only supporter that they could get to come out. It was awful. Awful. Like, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I mean, I was an ignorant kid, but I voted for Obama in 2012. I didn't know any better. I didn't know what was going on. My basic premise was that, well, he didn't do anything that awful. I mean, there weren't a lot of like controversies at the time. Of course, that was because the mainstream networks refused to actually cover any of the actual controversies, including the fact that Obama killed a 16-year-old American citizen. So I just didn't know any better, and I didn't do the research when I first voted, and I regret that vote. But, I mean, just the last, like, 12 years since then, it's just been one revelation after another about how terrible these presidents have been. And it's just, God. They're trying to defend this guy. And I'm just. I mean, if they were trying to help Joe Biden, it seemed like they were trying to actually help Joe Biden a few times, trying to give him an out, try to, like, push him in the right direction to say the right thing. And Joe Biden just couldn't take any hints. It was just impossible for him. And they were asking, like, every stupid, biased question they could of Trump, and Trump just knocked it out of the park, one after the other. And he wasn't just using his normal, like, canned responses for all of them. He was actually making more points and just not. I mean, when you're on the campaign trail and you're talking to a new crowd of people, you will say something that you said 100 times before, but something that you figure that the crowd never heard before. Trump was making more points than he normally does, and they all made sense as far as I'm concerned. And if you fact check them, you would actually find that he was right about probably 95% of it. And the rest of the 5% is just opinion that a lot of people would agree with anyways. I mean, whereas Biden, again, he was bringing up points that Trump had already debunked and actually pointed to the source that had debunked it. And now they're making, oh my God, they're making actual commercials. Donald Trump is making commercials just showing what Biden said on stage. And it's effective. Again, Gavin Newsom gained 10 points in the betting pools as the potential next nominee for the presidency. Not Biden. The same thing didn't happen to Trump. Trump's numbers probably didn't get affected at all, but Biden's probably just tanked. And there's still at least 3 debates that are supposed to be on, that's supposed to show up in like September. And it was just so bad. I'm amazed on how bad it was. I'm amazed. And that was probably when Joe Biden was completely drugged up and had every advantage. And I was like, how could he be this bad even when he's on like all this medicine to keep him sane, keep him making sense? And one of my buddies is just like, it's just not working anymore. Like the meds just can't be working anymore if he is this awful. And that's terrifying that this man is leading our country right now. So, I mean, I'll leave it there, guys, at 20 minutes. I had a lot to say on this one. It's just, it's not even Trump did like absolutely amazing. Like, it might sound like I'm kissing butt on Trump here, but just in comparison to Biden, I mean, they both look old. They both have gray hairs. You can see the gray poking through Donald Trump and all the lines and wrinkles on his face. But Biden looks like he's on death's door, whereas Trump was at least making sense. Just, God. Anyways, before I start rambling, I'm going to end it there. That's all, guys. Bye.